David says, I am new to options and wanted to ask if there's a possible solution to a sold put I have. Sold a coin. Far out. Okay, it's a far out in time. So let's go back to custom spread. We sold a naked put, cash secured put, I guess, on coin. It could be naked, could be cash secured. But you sold it all the way out to January 2024. It is cash covered, excuse me. Okay. One thing I'm missing here, David, is that you said, I'm concerned that the stock may not go above 180 by January 2020. So I'm assuming, David, you have the 180 strike put. You didn't mention the put strike. Okay, good, great. Okay, excellent, excellent. So January 2024, 637 days away, 180 strike put, now deep in the money. You originally sold it for $67.29. I don't think this is going to be too bad as you think it is, but that's all right. So we've got a potential here for a profit of 59.70. You got 67.29, 637 days out of time. There's a lot of time left on this position. I don't think we have to worry about early assignment, David, because it's so far out in time. Taking some hits with the rest of the market. Let's take a look at coin here. Naturally, it's been fun. Bitcoin here and everything started to take that big hit here. Things going on in Eastern Europe, other situations with it as well. So naturally, what affects the blockchain, what affects Bitcoin, Ethereum, and stuff is going to affect COIN as well. So Bitcoin is always hard to gauge. It's been down close to this level before recently, but I don't think. When was the last time it was that? Oh, yeah, this is the lowest it's been in a while. So I know, we're not talking about what's up there, but it's been going down and down and down. We're at a low point right now, and the market, as I mentioned from previous presentations, is in a scenario here where it's been going down and down. You've got the 180. We've seen it drop what? From, let's just call it 200, David, from 200 to where we are now at 130. So let's say we even make half of that back, all right? So we're talking about a 70-point decline here in the last month or so. From about 200, it's a little higher than 200, but we'll just call it 200, down to about 130. We're a little bit higher than 130, but we'll call it 130. And it's been pretty steep. Let's say we make half of that back. We make 35 points back after this decline. When might that happen? A month from now, 2 months from now? I'm not speculating. But let's just say a target of 160. Now, you sold this for $67.29. It's going to be pretty expensive to buy back right now because it's going deeper and deeper in the money. You're only losing 5 or 6 points on this position. And with these prices here, that's not bad at all. Now, I'm not saying you should continue being bullish on this position. I'm not saying that you should continue. I don't know where coin's going. This isn't a stock I know well. I know what it tracks, David. I know what it's involved with. Not as high of a return you want. You're originally hoping for a 60-point return. But the buyback cost in this 180 put now, let's just call it 74 even. You're only losing about 7 or 8 points in this position. You could roll down to a 110 put and still be making $20 or $30. And if coin starts to recover and move back up, you could buy this back more cheaply and roll up to higher strike prices. You've got so much time on this position. Early assignment is always a concern, but like I said, you've got so much time in this position. The early assignment usually occurs closer in, David. It's not something that's usually affected by the 600 or 700 days out. But let's just take a look at it. Buy this position back right now. Looking at a cost of about $74, a little bit less than that. What's my loss here? $646. Okay, you might have more contracts, I understand, but per contract loss is $6.46, $6.46 per contract. So my one contract is a loss of $646. Don't know where you think it's going to go, but you could even go shorter term, depending on where you thought the stock was going to be. We could go closer into, say, June and get $10, $11 for the 120 put. Or if you wanted to say farther out in time, that's going to give you a $5 profit in June. If it expires worthless, then you can continue to sell puts against it as it continues to move up, as it continues to move down. But if you wanted to stay in January, going down to, say, 110, you're losing $6, but we could get about $28 here, 27 it looks like. I forgot to add that in. My apologies, folks. There we go. And we sell to open this position. You've got a net credit of $20.94. Now ignore this return here, okay? That's including this idea of looking at a spread here that you don't have. But essentially you're making $20.94 on a rough obligation of $110. Let's clear that out. Let's put that in. Let's say $20.94. Change the price, taking in the loss that we would have realized buying to close the put. Not the return you expected. I know it's only 23%, but now you're out of the money. The stock could still continue to fall, but if the stock starts to move back up, goes back up to 135, 140, 150, this might drop down to $10. You could buy this back and then maybe sell a 120 put, a 125 put, and continue up in that scenario. You're only losing $6 on this position. Okay, it's not bad. It's so far out in time, 637 days out in time, that you're still going to retain most of that time value, even though the stock has fallen as well. Okay? And yes, David, you'll be able to see the video. What we did is we rolled the position. Let's take a look at this another way. Okay? And you could go shorter term, keep the naked put just 56 days out and then continue to write it month by month by month as we move on, or even weekly. But again, you're only taking a $6 loss in this position. Let me add in your initial position again. I want to show you something that you can use. And we had that initial cost, of $67.29. I'm just going to keep it one contract again, David, just to keep it simple. Let's go ahead and submit that. Now, there's our original position. Yeah, you're expecting a 59.7% return. So rolling this down, staying out of the money with that 115 or 110 put that I showed is going to cut the profit potential by more than half. But it doesn't mean you're just going to hold it there and let it go. If it recovers as you expected, you should only roll down and stay in this strategy if you expect coin to recover over time. The coin's going through a rough patch right now. We all see that. But let me add it to the portfolio. I'll put it into the April 22nd. Today's April 22nd. We've got some other positions in there. All right. Here's my naked put. And yeah, you're only down 3.6% of the expected premium that you took in, $6,729 with the obligation at $180. Liquidation loss right now is $646 or 3.6% of the total margin requirement. But one thing about the Power Options tools we can always do, as I'm tracking a position, we'll go to Position Actions and then Position Analysis. Shows me a breakdown of the numbers we just saw. Here's your monetary loss, not that bad at all, even though you're deep in the money, but you're retaining a lot of time value. And see here, it even shows you some, okay, these aren't the ones you want to focus on. This is talking about getting assigned and turning it into a covered call. I was hoping to see some straight put rollouts here, but because it's so deep in the money, it's talking about letting it be assigned, but you don't control that. I think it's better just to roll this down as well. Okay. And David says, how do you get into that at Power Options? That's really cool. Okay, so what you have to do is when you go into the portfolio, this is the position analysis view. You go into the portfolio. If you haven't created a portfolio yet, just go to Setup and say, hey, I need a portfolio. Let's see, we're talking about $180,000 here in this position. And so what I'm doing here is just setting up a portfolio with the cost basis, what my total market value would be on my total portfolio. And then I'll just click Save All Changes. So that's in the Setup field, David. Then I want to go into Portfolios. This will take me to the new one that we created. I have a naked put, so I'll just click the drop-down menu here. Long stock, long call, short call, long put, short put. It's not called naked put, it's called short put. So we're just going to sell a put here. Takes me to an entry page, much like you'd see on your broker. Select the option. Well, I got to tell it what stock I'm using. We're using coin. And just like I used on the custom spread tool, David, it's just brings up the chain for me. Go to January 19th. Up, the 180 put isn't here because it's only showing us 10 strikes. No problem. Up at the top here, click on View All Options. So it'll load all of the options for us. Now I've got my 180 put. Sell one contract. Let's say I did this last month on 3/22, and we collected $67.29, and of course you can include your commission fees as well. Stock price at the time of the trade, let's say it was at 210. Okay, all right. Now that doesn't affect the tracking, David. That's just for your own personal notes. Now you've got the position in there. The standard view, of course, would just show you the naked put by itself, but you've got sort of all of the things that you wanted to see here. I had clicked on the stock analysis view in the portfolio so I could see those extra 6 columns, which shows me the total position cost, original expected gain or loss, liquidation value, and liquidation gain or loss. So the first trip is you have to, let me just refresh that. First trick, David, is you got to enter in the positions we just walked through. Now when you have a position entered, the more information button to the left-hand side, you can go to the profit and loss chart, company information, position actions. If I rolled the leg, closed the leg, got assigned, or if it expired, this is where I would do all those actions, David. But here we go to position actions and we go to position analysis. This is what gives me the breakdown of my current position. I can see more details with the math other than what was shown right on that display. And then here down below, we see the potential rollout opportunities. And of course, when a rollout opportunity comes up, you could even go to simulate trade. And you'll sort of see the side-by-side picture of your original position versus what the new position would look like, and the graphs down below. Original position, new profit and loss chart. Yeah, this new profit and loss doesn't look that attractive in blue because it's so shorter term. But you can do the graphic side-by-side comparison before you decide to do a roll. And I'm sorry, while you're on the simulate trade page, if that's the roll that you wanted, you could just click submit change to portfolio and it will do all the recording for you in that case. Okay, portfolio is an extraordinarily powerful tool. You see me use it in almost every webinar we do. And just remember, when you start off, we go into setup. You've got a quick list of help videos here to walk you through the setup, entering a new position, portfolio alerts. The portfolio view here under my portfolio, that's where we track our open positions. The help videos once you're in here, David, setup, entering a new position, the position analysis, simulating rollout opportunities on your own, and historical trade entry if you had past positions in there as well. So there's a lot of help videos that are available. But of course, as a PowerOptions member, you can always schedule a free coaching session as well if you want to walk through using the portfolio tools more, how to set it up, evaluate the rollout opportunities, anything that you have in that area, David. Position's not as bad because it's so far out in time you retained most of the time value that you collected. You're only taking a loss of $600 or $6.50 per contract on those positions. So it's not too bad at all. But we'll try to get that. You can set up a coaching session at any time, David, as well. So thank you for the question. I'm glad to see it's not as bad as we initially thought it was in that case. And good to go.